Hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenos días a todos. Una vez más, a todos nuestros escuchas en Retumba. Los saludo con mucho gusto, esperando que se encuentren muy bien. Les habla Irving y hoy estamos en una entrevista muy especial en la que estaremos hablando con Touko Santama de Horte, una banda finlandesa que desde el lanzamiento de su primer disco homónimo y esta ocasión, con motivo de su segundo lanzamiento, espero pronunciarlo bien, Mantayon Vayenta, han optado por desarrollar su música dentro de una de las más interesantes ramificaciones del género del post-rock. Y en ella exploramos sonidos a través de paisajes fríos y de melodías brumosas, creando atmósferas muy densas, casi como nieblas. Si no han escuchado previamente a la banda, los invito a que al finalizar de escuchar la entrevista lo hagan, porque no se pueden perder esta propuesta. Dicho esto, saludemos a Touko. So, hello Touko, once again. Good afternoon there in Finland. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for your time for this interview. First of all, let me tell you what a mesmerizing album have you done. It's very hypnotic. I love. I hope I am pronouncing it right. Maantayon Vayenta, because I think it truly shows up the experience of what listening post rock is. You know, a kind of travel for the soul, and I felt very pleased to listen it.
Oh well, great. Thanks for having us do the interview, and great to hear you enjoyed listening to the piece.
Did I pronounce it right? Manta
Yeah.
Bayenda.
That's about it. I understand. So that fits it. More and Vajenta it would be in.
Well, sorry anyway. My Finnish is not very good. But well, let's begin. So once say that, how are things going for Horte right now? I guess you're excited, waiting for the album release next week. So how are things going for the band?
Yeah, well, we're doing good as a band. Nothing. The COVID hasn't hit us personally or anything like that, and of course we're waiting for the album release now. So 1 week, and then it's out there available for everyone to listen. It's been some time from beginning of the recording to this point, so yeah, we're really excited to have it out there.
That's great to hear. And actually, how did you manage the COVID situation, the health situation as a band?
Yeah, well, I think in Finland we've dealt with the whole thing quite well, actually, given it's a small country. And there's a lot of social distancing is way easier here than possibly in big metropolitan cities and all that. Then again, as a band, we've of course had a sort of like a extra 2 years or something like that.
Okay.
Sitting on with the album, we pretty much had it completed as the situation started here.
Okay.
Everywhere, but in Finland too.
Okay, I see. And well, I can imagine that it's been a difficult time for everyone, but especially for musicians, I suppose. On the other hand, in many times I've been told that as a result of the pandemic, many musicians got inspired. You are saying me that you had the album previously recorded to the pandemic, so how was the experience of recording the album?
Yeah, we started doing the manehado. It's our second full-length piece, so we started doing it already. I just had to check it out myself, actually, in somewhere around 2018. Summer, so now it's already like no, I mean, at least 4 years or something like that, of sketching the work. It's been a long run. That's actually the way we work around pieces. It really takes time for us to have it completed. And yeah, having said that, we didn't necessarily hit the wrong cycle of whatever it is, COVID or whatever. We're not the kind of group that's in a hurry to go anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That given, and of course, well, personally, everyone has their own little worlds and all that. But as Horte, I think we got through thus far, at least.
Okay, that's great to hear. And taking what you have told me, that you're not rushing to compose anything or
Yes.
something like that. Maybe we can talk about your inspiration then, because inspiration is a very important part of recording an album, right? So I read that your songwriting process stands on collect some material from many sources to create a kind of shell that works as a draft for what the final album will sound. So I think that works very good, especially fine when you want to get the ideas to set up certain atmospheres or landscapes. So how did you select these inspiration sources? Are they part of the same musical genre, or do they share a common concept? How did you get those inspirational sources?
Well, yeah, that's a good question for everyone to ask themselves actively, I think. But well, the process for Horte, there's like well, 4 performers in the crew, but of course we had also Juha Vanhanen of Orange Pasusu work with us on the production for this one, and well, if I think about it as a longer process, like from years to this point where we are now, I think we've sort of been always on this path of figuring out different ways of working with sound. And the way we work with sound is actually a thing I personally discussed a lot with Juho. Is pretty it's dimensional, of course, and we work on layering sound, getting elements of sound and putting them together, taking them off from each other, and then again we think about the process. So that's the kind of way we do this this type of collage or whatever we do. That's the inspiration. Actually, the process is pretty much the thing that gets us going, I think.
Okay, could you give us some examples for that sources of inspiration? Maybe some band names or something like that?
Yeah, well, it's always hard to give band names. But we listen a lot of different music,
okay,
and sound stuff. I think starting from jazz to hip hop, electronic music, and myself classical music a lot. So there's it's always a sort of a mishmash of whatever anyone's doing or listening themselves in the currents or the years. We didn't actually have any sort of that sort of reference as of let's do stuff like this, or this one sounds cool, or whatever. I tended to keep the discussion, and we tend to keep discussion as on the more describing the sounds. But of course, field recording, for an example, is one thing. How different sort of resources you have everywhere to use and start using. So that's definitely one inspiration, you know, anything, everything goes sort of thing.
Okay, okay, I get it. And well, talking more about manda yung bayenda, these words stand for "Let Earth be silent by night" in Finnish, which I think it defines very well the essence of what we may find listening the new album.
Oh,
But
yeah.
why did you choose this name? Is it somehow related to some kind of philosophical thought, or what did you want to express naming the album like this?
Great to hear if that resonates. The the title and all that. Rika, the singer and composer in a sense for the material,
Okay.
she also is responsible for creating the lyrics and working them through. So she'd probably be the right person to ask or go further on that one. But then again, it's a part from the song on the album called Kun joki haihtuu. And Kun joki haihtuu, there's the line maan tajun vaientaa. I think it gets a bit of chant type of thing, you know, with repetition on that track too. So in that sense, there might be some sort of a dramatical moment right there on the record. But yeah, the words, well, translated, let the earth be silenced by night. Of course, it's a sort of, well, it's always a translation, but maan tajun vaientaa, I think it's poetic. That's what Rika told us. I actually asked her about this sentence. And yeah, you know, poetics, it's a form of art, and there's no need necessarily to go chopping it like, you know, word per word or word by word, but yeah, it's poetics, lyrics. That's the way I see it. But the mood thing you said, it's great. You get the feel.
Yeah. Yes, I totally agree with you because yeah, it's very poetic and also it's dramatic. So I guess that fits very well with the essence of what we're listening in the album.
Yes, that's also a process for us, you know, to work the lyrics throughout the piece so that it's fitted, and there's all this, the Finnish dialect and all that. It's a bit different from other languages and all that. So it's definitely also one process for us to get them fitting right, the mood.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Actually, why did you wanted to record the full album in Finnish? Didn't you feel right to put in some songs in English or something like that, or you wanted to respect like the essence of the album or your roots or something like that?
Yeah, well, it's our well, I think we just get the most out of it. I think that's the main thing for Rika to work on that stuff. And of course, when you get the most out of it, then it starts to well, then it really starts to sing, as they say, you know. You can go and look on all these sort of whatever diphthongs or whatever, you know, I, O, that stuff that's all over the Finnish thing we have here.
Okay, I see. And well, at this moment, you have already released 3 singles of this album. I will say the short names because I guess I couldn't pronounce them very well, but those are Pelko, Ilman, and Vaisti. And to be honest, I can't decide which one I like the most. Because the first one, Pelko, feels like a song to relax and just flow with the beat and the voice of Rika, as you said. And Ilman, I'd say it sounds with like a folkish vibe, that makes so enjoyable, especially when those piano touches come to the scene. And finally, Vaisty is a totally different song because it sounds more aggressive and actually kind of psychedelic. So I guess I could say that you explode all the resources that the band had to the highest they can go. So what could you tell us about them? Why did you choose these songs to be the main singles?
Yeah, that was also a process again, as it is for making records always. Then again, But yeah, choosing the singles. There's actually we could have picked almost any song from the album. There's quite a lot of variation when you start analyzing on which ones should be what and what would be the right mood to start with and the feels you want to get and
Right.
and all that stuff. But then again, there's not, and I think it has to deal with the fact that the whole album isn't certainly just like rock and roll songs or
Okay.
or what genre could I pick? Glitch or whatever, the type of stuff that's always sort of, in some sense, has a typical form. So we had a lot of songs to pick from, I think. And as you said, it's folky. From your perspective, you said there's folk influence and also like psychedelic and all that stuff. So aggressive things. So yeah, we had lots of variations to choose from. This one was maybe the best one we could sort out for the singles.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think they show up pretty much what we could find in the album, but not saying it all. I mean, you can have just a little touches, but not the full dish.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's pretty good. And well, now talking from the beginning of your career uh, until this second album, you have been playing together and growing as a band since uh, 2017, if I'm not wrong. And 4 years now, it feels like you're expanding yourself, that you're exploring and reaching new shores to develop your music. And this goes to develop a brand new sound in the post-rock genre, as I think. So how has it been playing together so far? Have you recognized the strengths of the band as of now and turned them into opportunities to reach the goals you're pursuing, or you're just experimenting and flowing up with the road? How is playing together?
Yeah, well, we actually did between the albums, from starting with the debut in 2017 and now getting Manehado and Banda released. Between the albums, we had this sort of we think of it as a sort of a middle piece, which was an EP called Harha, and it actually quite naturally ended up being the progression we're dealing with Manehado and Banda, which is now coming out
Okay.
from Pelagic. So like this is in that sense, I just see it as of us presenting our thoughts or thoughts on sound and whatever, in this sort of like set of pieces, piece after piece. And there's definitely, of course, always progression in what we do and how we hear things and all that. But then again, I think it's all been, in some sense, a continuation of being what is Horte.
Okay, I see. Well, I actually have a question that came to my mind when you're telling me this, and as I remember it,
Yeah.
I saw that you work with Juho Vanen, you taught me, from Orensi Pesusu, and how can I put this? Did he had something to see in the final sound? I mean, do you get some inspiration from their sound as Orensi Pesusu, or he just helped you to get the sound you wanted to release in this second album?
Yeah, well, working with Juho, we know each other for some time already. Of course, from Orasi Pasusu stuff, I've listened and seen them live sometimes, of course, here in Finland and at Roadburn and wherever. But yeah, well, with Juho, the process was it was more like bringing him to the table was very spot on for us. We had discussed it a little before we actually started working on the album, of course, but then as he really took the time to have an idea of what it could be, then it was just few discussions of us, what it could be, what we could do, manage to do, and what we could achieve with this one. And well, Juho was an observer first most, I think. Yeah, and that's the thing we wanted to have, in sense of like having a mirror or you spiegel or whatever you want to put it, but having an observer outside the band when we're doing all this thing we're doing and getting the right commentary on that. And of course, it was important we knew Juho from before, so that it was actually it just made itself become what it is now. We weren't that much influenced on basic forms, as maybe you have already come to notice.
Yeah, I actually think that he gets the post-rock genre, even though he doesn't play it. I guess he put his essence into this album, as you guys, and mix it up, everything. It develops these atmospheres and these landscapes that we have already said. And I think that he actually get the post-rock genre. Because post-rock is a very special genre for me. I consider it as one of the most versatile genres within the musical spectrum, because I think it allows people to reach a deeper connection, as it gives us the chance to associate it with our own personal experiences or dreams or longings. Would you say that this thought provokes you a bigger satisfaction than express your own ideology as a band?
Yeah, I get what you mean by the whole the way post-rock, if the post-rock I know of, how it's composed, it's usually it may have long runnings on and crescendos and whatever, and of course
Yes.
a lot of different stuff out from that nowadays, and even like it may be soothing or calm or whatever is the right word for that type of, dreaming and longing, as you said.
Yeah.
And I think most of us know some of these thoughts, and can be put into Horte's our perception of things, but yeah, I get it. Maybe the instrumentation then again might be somewhat different from the average.
Yeah, but that's actually good for me. I mean, when I first heard the album, it feels so fresh for the genre, especially when the average is composing around landscapes, but as crescendos and that stuff that you already said. So I actually enjoy it for that reason.
Great to hear.
And well, considering what you told me at the beginning, that the pandemic is getting better in some countries, and some measures have been taken in order to get back to stages, which places would you like to play the most once you come back touring again?
Well, of course, we're looking to get whatever, almost wherever it is, do we get to perform at this stage. And we performed on galleries, from galleries to clubs to festivals. That's really, I think it's more about wherever you will perform, you just have to get yourself into the zone of the current, wherever that is. And we're of course waiting eagerly to get those chances in future. We have a few shows here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, actually, have you considered visit Latin American ground? Because I'm a bit curious to know if you have heard something about Mexico or maybe any other Latin American country that
Yes.
you want to visit or something like that.
Yeah, well, actually, I've been to Mexico once.
Okay. What did you think about it?
Yeah, oh, great. It was mesmerizing almost, given the contrast of coming here from winter Finland to
Yeah.
Mexico City. It was mesmerizing and special.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, of course, Latin America would be awesome to perform. I don't know what did I do in Mexico. I went to see, at least things I remember were see the sunstone of the Aztec sunstone. It's in the city museum, and that Popol Vuh's grave. I think.
Okay.
It was this sort of a must do type of on my checklist, and all that. Ate good food at the markets, and what else? We actually bought a mortar from Mexico City, the one you crush herbs and stuff like that.
It's called what? How is it called? I forgot it. I forgot it. I'm not a good Mexican because I forgot that. But yeah,
Okay.
we use it actually to prepare some sauces and stuff. Yeah.
And of course we had to bring some chilies and all that.
Totally. What do you think about Mexican chili?
Well,
It's so spicy, right?
Well, sure. There's enthusiasts in Finland too, of course. Yeah. You get a totally different soup from certain types of chili and like something else than we get from here in supermarkets. So
That's great to hear. I
yeah,
hope you have enjoyed your visit here, and
yeah,
you come soon again.
yeah, totally great culture.
And well, we may have talked about this a little bit when I asked you about the band influences, but in the blog we're interested in know the bands in a deeper way. So I would like to ask you, which was the last song, or maybe the band, or maybe an album that you have listened and it amazed you or surprised you, and why?
Oh, what a question. We've had this same question. I think many groups face the same question, but we actually couldn't necessarily figure anything for that matter. Then again, I can just repeat the same thing, which is that our take on sounds is just listening all kinds of sounds and music, from jazz to classical, hip hop, experimental, electronic, all that.
Okay.
Well, of course, Dimitri, actually our bass player, and what else? We can do anything in our group, but at least our bass player Dimitri actually released a great album last year. It was from his other group, Kairon Irse. Don't know if you heard of it ever, but progressive stuff, I think.
Okay.
That was great album from them. I think it shows new heights for the group. That was at least great from close times.
Okay, I will give it a shot because I've never heard about the band, but it sounds very good.
Yeah, Kairon Irse, Polyson was the name of the album. Yeah.
Oh, I understand you right now. Yeah, I heard it. I recalled and I heard it back before. Yeah, it was an amazing album. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Great. So you heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember right now when you said the title of the album. I recall it, and yeah, I have listened it, and it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out on for any type of music lover, whatever.
Yeah. Well, Toko, finally, this is our signature question. Once again, and before asking you the question, let me tell you that it has been a pleasure to talk with you, and thank you for all of your answers. They are very enlightening, you know. But well, this is the final question, and for some, the most difficult to answer. So to reply, sorry. This is a tradition within the blog. In order to know the band beyond their musical perspectives. And the question is that if you could relate the aesthetics or the concept or the mood of Horte with a book or a movie, a painting, or any other kind of art, what would it be and why?
Yes, well, I'm prepared for this one.
Yeah, because it's the most difficult one.
It's the most difficult one. I really had to think about it through. Well, we are influenced by other things than just music. So yeah, in that sense, this one was actually interesting one to think of, whether it's cinema or like fine art stuff, or maybe literature, and that's what actually sort of led me on picking up a personal thing for you now doing the interview with me. Of course, the other members too are keen on arts on that spectrum, but I'd have to say, given a thought for this one, I had to pick first of all a book.
Okay.
It's just the form, how the thing is with reading a book, and the whole abstract sense and the abstract experience you get from reading a good book, I'd say. But I just had, of course, I had tons of books to pick from. A book that's abstract enough, I think, that could work with for a person who likes Horte, or at least I'd suggest getting to know, would be, from my point, Martin Heidegger. If you know the philosopher, maybe his most magnum opus, Sein und Zeit, being and time. That would be my suggestion on trying to describe what's going on with Horte and everything else for that matter.
Okay, I will check it out too, because I have not the pleasure to know the philosopher, but it sounds very good, and I hope that I can get what you're telling me.
Yeah, well, you know,
of Horte.
yeah, sure. It took me like reading philosophy might be slow, and for me it was like I read first 5 pages 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Then I just took a break from it like 10 years, and I just recently been starting to get back to it. So again, it's about being in time. So I think that's the plot. You'll get it if you move further with it.
Okay, it actually happened to me the same thing. I began with the book. I read the first 10 pages, I guess, and I dropped it out. And now I'm kind of trying to take back the reading, because I think that maybe it's that what you said. It's the right time when you can get the whole idea that the book wants to express, right? So I will check it out.
Yeah, great. And of course, that's the thing with reading and with also sounds in art. You try to sort of like align is always, and trying to achieve is always sort of this thing of getting stuff that sticks, not necessarily just like it doesn't even have to be like straight away, but it's more of an abstract, longer process, and that's something we at Horte also are working on.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and I guess that we can end with that thought in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Toko, for your light, for telling us what Horte is developing right now. We are looking forward, excited for the new album, for the second album, Maanta, and well, I hope that you can make it to Mexico once again, because I would love to see you guys playing around here.
Yeah, great. Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see ya.